Hi everybody, Father Bill Holtzinger here, and this is your Friday Reflection. Well, back in November, you might or may not remember that I spoke about, I was going to do a series on the structures of the church. And not like the structures of like the Vatican, but just the local parish, in our case, Holy Trinity. And I spoke about two things. One was the admin council, and the other one was the pastoral council. They're councils, and they are then, you'd say, recommended or required by the Code of Canon Law. The admin council being one that's required, the pastoral council, is one that should be there, though that sometimes doesn't happen as much. Though I think it's critical. In all the parishes I've been at, I've always had a pastoral council and an admin council, and they dovetail each other. So like sometimes the pastoral council will decide we want to go in this direction of the parish in a pastoral way. I would agree, let's say, and then that goes to the admin council saying, okay, now how can we make that happen? Sometimes there's then a dialogue going back and forth because money may be tight or it can't happen or whatever it is. But sometimes the admin council has thoughts about how we need to work with our finances, and then that goes back to the pastoral council to decide how that we want to discern that to go out. Again, all of those two I should say, are advisory to me as the pastor. Now, moving on to the school, there is similar parallel kind of groups, though they don't have the canonical status that a pastoral and admin council have. So I'm wearing my new, you could say, merch for the school today. It's, by the way, the Catholic Schools Week, so I think it's good that I chat about this at this time. So the two groups in the parish school, our parochial school, is a school advisory committee, and we now have a newly made finance committee. They're both committees, not councils, and the difference, one is a mandated thing or almost mandated thing by Code of Canon Law, and the others are something that is just, I think, appropriate and good to think about and to have as a parish if we can, especially as a school. So what does the school advisory committee do? Well, they're similar in the sense that the pastoral council thinks about the pastoral ministry of the parish. Well, this group is now a set of parents who, and there's about 7 to 8 of them, I think, on this group, on the school advisory committee, and their goal is to kind of give myself and our principal, Dr. Irwin, the what's going on at the school sensibility. What are parents saying, and what's the morale of things? But also, not to get into the weeds, but how's the curriculum affecting our kids, or are there things or trends that we need to know, or are there things that we could do as a parish school that'll help our parents? Or maybe, for example, we made a decision, or it was recommended to me, to change when the start of school would happen this next coming year, which will be before Labor Day, not after Labor Day. And I said, that looks good, that'll help us follow the rest of the schools in our area, which is good because some parents have kids in our school and some in public school and elsewhere. So this gives some sensibility of we'll be doing the same thing. So that's an example of the school advisory committee telling us about what's going on and what would be best for them as parents. That's the school advisory committee. Wonderful people. In fact, both of these committees are great. The second committee is a finance committee, and it's made up of just about 4 parents, and they've been asked to be part of this council, or this committee, I should say, because of their expertise in finance in their own industry of work that they are in. And what their charge is number one, to first of all, come to know what the finances of the school are, because that's often misunderstood. It's a nonprofit, it's a ministry of the parish, so it has to be, and we have to create a budget that will go to the admin council for approval, then recommended to me. This group does not actually work deeply in the budget, though they will be helping out Dr. Irwin and Dana Arano, who is our business manager, on some of the basics and the big picture stuff. So they get to know something of the finances and how it goes. It's a learning thing for them right now. And what are the income sources, and what is an endowment, and how much does the parish give to the school? I think that was a shocker for them. It's almost $750,000 that the school itself as a subsidy, or the parish as itself gives to the school, to just lift the school on its own right there. Of course, that's not enough because we need tuition. And of course, that's something that the finance committee can help us to say, okay, well, they don't set tuition, but they certainly also, they give us a sense of like, how are we spending? Are we spending efficiently? Are there things we could possibly do that would be better? And that's helpful. even more helpful, though, is this, and that is communication, because most parents, I'll bet you a lot of you as well, don't know how the finances of a Catholic school work. So that is something that is needed to be communicated. So as they get kind of into some of the weeds of our finances with the school, that this committee has already written, at least now, I think 2 letters to the school parents just to communicate what's going on. And obviously if there's a concern, parents at the school can talk with one of those members, and then that can come back to that committee, and then we can make sure we formulate a response to them as fast as we can and cogently as we can. In fact, hopefully the committee members will be able to answer it right away. And that's something that I love about the school advisory committee, because sometimes people have this sensibility of things that may not be correct about what's going on. And our school advisory committee members are really, I consider, evangelists for the parish. When someone talks to them about how something's going, like a parent does or somebody else, and it's not how it is really the school advisory committee member to then explain it to them, to correct them so they don't spread false information, because there's nothing worse than creating rumors about bad information that's not even true. So that's kind of what they do. And I've had this before, where in my previous parish, that was important that, someone had an idea that was just a rumor and had no basis in any reality, and it was easily then solved by the member of the school advisory committee who hears a lot of stuff and knows what's going on and can ask almost any question about anything, gets the answers directly from me or from the principal, and we're able to then go forward. There is a sneak peek one, okay, not a sneak peek, maybe there's a surprise one that I didn't mention. There's actually a 3rd group in our school, and it's the PTO, the Parent Teacher Organization. And that has been growing also in our parish school for some time now. And their goal, if I can try to put it together, is it's a bunch of the teachers with Dr. Irwin, again our principal, and to formulate ways to support the teachers, the students. So for example, on Teacher Appreciation Day, the PTO is doing a lot of work to try to help lift up the teachers. But also there's times when some of their fundraising, like right now, this garb that I'm wearing it's a fundraiser of the PTO so that they can do other things for maybe classrooms when they're wanting to have gatherings or parties or outings. Some of the funds that they raise there go towards that. So it's a good thing. So those are the different groups in the parish school of our parish Holy Trinity. That is a finance committee, a school advisory committee, and a PTO. That allows us to have a lot of communication to our teachers, our parents, our constituents basically, and allow them to be able to communicate to other people so that we're all on the same page. Because it's really important. I mean, I want to consider myself a good communicator. So the more we can share things, the better it will be. And these 3 groups within the school are needed and helpful in that regard. So that pretty much wraps up who and what is kind of the governing bodies of the parish, and those are all advisory to me, and maybe like the Dr. Irwin, our principal in that one case at the school, and also Dana Morano, who's our business manager. So, and it all comes back to myself with our what we call our parish leadership team to kind of discern things. And it's for me, let's just say it kind of keeps my stress low in a sense that people are on board. It's a collaborative adventure and all these things to decide what should we do about a situation, whether it's in the school or whether it's from the parish, whether it's a financial thing, whether it's a pastoral thing. These groups give good insight because I can't know everything. I'm not in everybody's heads. I'm not a parent. So that's important to hear. Folks, this weekend, Father Dominic, I believe, Father Dominic is going to be preaching. I want to encourage you to pray for him, as I always ask you, whoever's preaching next, to pray for him. And I believe the scriptures, the gospel, is the Beatitudes. So I think he's going to focus on that. And I think we had a great dialogue on last Wednesday about it. So please pray for him, and I'll see you this weekend. God bless. Bye-bye.